Time is currently 12 a.m. Everything is done. I have everything cleaned up and organized. I got all my tools where I need them, and we are ready to start. I am going to pull the car in. I'm probably just going to move the expansion tank, the spark plugs, and the wiring harness and the fuel lines and all that, disconnect the battery. Just get the car ready so tomorrow morning I can just come out here, pull the injectors, put the new ones in, put everything back together, scan it, make sure everything's good, and JC will have his car ready for tomorrow after work. So I am going to pull the car in, and I'll check back in once we are in the engine bay. All right, so we got the car set up in here. Not too much space. She's a big girl, but we good. We got the light set up. So we are going to be working on this side of the motor. The cylinder misfires that we have are 6 and 8, which are these last two cylinders right here. But yep, I'm just gonna get going on moving this stuff, and let's get to it. All right, so we got all the injectors out on this side of the motor. As you can see, this is the injector for the front cylinder. So this would be cylinder 5, this is cylinder 6, this is cylinder 7, this is cylinder 8. So he was having misfires in cylinder 6, which obviously that injector is cooked. And in cylinder 8, this injector is also cooked. So it is a good thing we are replacing them. I'm going to clean up everything in there. There's no new coolant leaking in here. This is all from the expansion tank. There is a video on my Instagram about me doing an expansion tank on one of these engines. On that car, it was an M5. This is an M8, but similar issues. Same thing happens. Coolant expansion tank leaks coolant. It gets into the galley and things stop working. Injectors stop working. Spark plugs, ignition coils, things of that nature. So as you can tell, they definitely are ready to be replaced. We're only doing one side. This side is very common to have injector failure due to the expansion tank leaking coolant. This car did have the recall done. Unfortunately, the technician who did the recall did not see all the coolant in there. So normally that would be covered under the recall, but because the recall was done so long ago and he is now a new owner and now dealing with the issues, unfortunately we can't get it covered. So we're just getting the injectors put in and getting this thing back on the road. So for now, I'm gonna call it a night. It's about 1 a.m. I started this around 12, so I got pretty far today, got the injectors out. So tomorrow I just gotta clean up these holes, put the new injectors in, put everything back together, and test everything out, make sure everything's good. Good morning, we are back. It is the next day. I slept in a little because I was up so late last night. So it's like 9 o'clock right now. We are in the tent. As you can see over here where the M8 is, it's a little dark. When I originally built this tent, I was kind of short on funds and I only put 2 lights in here. These lights are about 50 bucks. They're Harbor Freight lights, but they are amazing. They're 10,000 lumens each. And I never got one for here. But if you can see right here, this morning I woke up and I went to Harbor Freight and I got myself the 3rd light. So I'm going to set this up. In typical New England fashion, it was 100 degrees yesterday and today it's 60 degrees and raining. So it's a little dark in here. There's an overcast of clouds and stuff, so it's not that bright outside. So all the windows of the tent are closed so that the rain doesn't get in here. And I'm going to set up this light and get started on finishing up the M8 for JC. So I'll just set you guys up while I set up the light. It might get a little sketchy around the M8, but we should be fine. Now we got light. Now we can see all of this. We can see this mess in here. All right, well, it's still a little shady down here in these holes. The goal is to try to get some more light in there, but that is why I got these as well. So let's unbox this and set this up, and then we will go grab the vacuum and I'll start cleaning out those ports so we can get these new injectors in. All right, so I got all my lights set up. I want to go grab the vacuum. So I'm just gonna set you guys up over here and just let this run until the car's up and running again. I didn't walk you guys around the car. The wiring harness had a bunch of coolant on it, but it's not too bad. None of the pins are damaged, so that is okay. As you can see, there's coolant all in there. I'm going to vacuum all of that out and clean everything up, and we're gonna get all this stuff back together. All right, I took a quick intermission to check where what the torque spec was for the T-plate that holds the injectors down. So now that we got that, let's finish getting all this stuff together and get this car up and running. So I just wanted to record this before I put everything back together. But this is your PCV. This is one of your PCV lines that goes up here. This thing right here. But this thing is leaking from the seal, and you do have oil coming down here. I'm gonna wipe off as much of this as I can just so there isn't residue going into that new injector. But definitely something to get fixed as soon as possible. Alrighty, so as you guys saw before, the PCV was all dirty and stuff, so I cleaned all that up just so it's clean for now, so none of that oil trails into the new injector. But the injectors are in, torqued down. I'm about to start putting these coil packs in. I already put one in. I'm gonna start putting those in, get this wiring harness back in, get all this stuff together, top off this coolant system, and we're gonna start this thing up and let her idle. All these spark plugs are back in and torqued. of course. As you can see, I cleaned out as much of the coolant from in there as I could. Everything looked good. Let's get it done. All right, quick update. Fuel rails back in, all the injectors are in, coil packs, everything's plugged in. Now I am just buttoning everything up. I got to put the ECU in, put the expansion tank back in, put that back on, plug everything up, and bleed the system and let this thing run. Clear all the faults, make sure everything's good, and she'll be all set. So we're back. I'm sorry I keep pausing the video. I just had to stop because while I was putting the wires back together over here, I found that the downstream secondary O2 sensor was loose. I tried to tighten it. It seems like when they put the downpipe in, something happened with the threads. But I had to just take a video of that and let JC know just ahead of time, just so there wasn't any misconceptions. But that's out the way. I got the expansion tank in. I'm about to put the ECU in and get this thing on. Alrighty. Everything is back together. I just opened the door to let out the fumes. I'm about to top off this coolant expansion tank, and we are gonna get the first startup of this car on the new injectors. I also have to plug in the battery, but I'm gonna set you guys up in the back and let you guys hear the first startup. Alright, so before we start the car, I need to make sure that all the adaptations are reset for the fuel system, because the car needs to know that it has new fuel injectors. So I'm just trying to do that. That's the kind of background process that people don't see. This takes a while. But yeah, once this is all set, I'll meet you guys back there and we'll start this thing up. She is running. Sounds like she's running good. She's idling good. Everything's good over there. Definitely sounds like there's an exhaust leak somewhere back there, but I'll let the people who are dealing with the downpipe deal with that, because I didn't touch any of that. I was just dealing with these injectors. But everything looks good. I'm gonna let it sit here and idle for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna shut it off, let it cool down, and then turn it back on and check the coolant level. Alright, so everything is running great. New injectors are in, injectors are reset, everything's all set. No check engine light, car's running good. Those injectors were definitely the cause to this rough running. Hopefully he doesn't get any more misfires. He does have to fix that downpipe issue, but unrelated. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll be back with another video soon.